Hey everybody, Chaz Molder here for our third virtual town hall. You'll recall that the City of Columbia is having these town halls to sort of promote continuity of local government so that you know that your government in the City of Columbia continues to operate and to function. Also to promote transparency so that you can see sort of behind the scenes of what's going on as we work through this crisis together, and then also to provide information so that this can be sort of a public service announcement for you so that you know what's happening and what to expect in the City of Columbia government. If you recall, on the first virtual town hall, we had Alan Watson and Dr. Deborah Goldsmith with Murray Regional Hospital to provide an overview of what's going on with respect to COVID-19, our current case count, and various other medical information. And then last week, we had our city manager, Tony Massey, along with our Chief of Columbia Police Department, Jeremy Alsop, and Chief of Fire and Rescue, Ty Cobb, who talked a lot about what's happening from a first responders perspective and also from actual functioning of City Hall. Today, I'm pleased to have joining us the City of Columbia Parks and Recreation Department Director, Mack Reagan, who's going to talk to us a little bit about the Parks and Rec Department as a general and then specific to what's going on with the Parks and Rec Department as we cope through this crisis together. So Mack, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, Mayor.
Mack, first of all, before we dive in, give a little bit of an overview of sort of what's in the portfolio of the Parks and Recreation Department from a city perspective.
For a small city, which we are, just right at about 40,000, we have actually considered a medium to large Parks and Recreation Department. We have 21 overall facilities for parks, pocket parks, everything from local parks, such as your Woodland Park, to a national regional park at Ridley Park. We have 3 community centers located throughout town. So basically, we have a variety of activities from everything from sports and athletics right on down to individual activities for a family to come out and enjoy. It's really an open environment at the City of Columbia, and we got really, we provide our local population with a really good quality of life as far as recreation.
Mack, one thing you did not mention in that list of assets is the new city dog park located at
That is correct. That is correct.
Talk a little bit about that. Of course, we had to cancel the grand opening. We had a big event planned, which was going to happen on the same day as the Mid-South Classic softball game, which was also canceled, that we'll talk about more in a minute. But give us a brief overview of the new dog park in the City of Columbia.
Our dog park basically is an acre dog park that's broken into 3 individual areas, kennels. It has one for small dogs, one for large dogs, and one multi-dog park play area that, everybody can bring. If you have a large dog and a small dog, you don't have to separate. So it's got roughly $50,000 of equipment inside of it, benches, stations, and just an overall a good environment for anyone who wants to bring their dog out to the public and get a good use of it. It really was provided. We were able to get a facility of this quality basically because of the Boyd Foundation grant. As you know, we got $100,000 grand prize winner of that, and we basically completed everything. Now we just need to do our ribbon cutting to close out the project. If you haven't had a chance to attend, I encourage the whole public to come out and look at it. It's a facility that will match anybody's dog park. So we're really pleased with it.
It really is a very nice dog park, and very grateful to the Boyd Foundation for providing the funds to basically fund the entire project, and looking forward to having Randy Boyd come down for the ribbon cutting hopefully soon. Now, let's segue that into the sort of the current status of our Parks and Rec facilities. You mentioned the dog park. However, the grand opening was canceled or postponed, but there's also been some additional closures and cancellations with respect to the parks, both the dog park and all the parks. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, with the governor's last executive order, it basically closed our amenities. It allows us to keep our parks open, such as Woodland Park, Fairview, and the Riverwalk for walking activities and individual activities, but with it encouraging everyone to stay safe at home and trying to get this virus under control. We're only open for those type activities. are amenities, tennis courts, disc golf, all those activities where you would come in contact with either a point of contact or another person. We've had to close those, and those we closed until the end of the month, until the executive order, I believe it is 27, is runs out or is extended. And that time we'll have to reevaluate as a city to see where we're at. But hopefully we'll be able to get everything open at that point and get some normalcy back to our lives and get this virus behind us and move forward.
Yeah, Mac, you mentioned Governor Bill Lee's Executive Order 27, which he signed yesterday, April the 13th, which in effect extended the stay-at-home order through the end of the month, April 30th. And so what we don't know is what will happen after April 30th. But as a city, what we do know is we are bound by the order that the governor has entered.
That is correct.
That in effect closes down most of all of the amenities within our park system. So, Mac, just pop quiz for you. True or false? If somebody wanted to come play on the Frisbee golf course in Woodland Park right now, they could do that.
False.
Okay, so the Frisbee golf course is cut. But however, true or false, if somebody wanted to go take a walk along the trail at Riverwalk Park, so long as they were socially distanced, they could do that.
Absolutely true. And Mayor, when I came out there today for lunch, there was somebody flying a kite by themselves. Perfect example of an individual activity that you can do. So
if the question to you, Mac, is how does one determine what parks and rec facilities are open? Would it be fair to say that the parks are open for walking or running or any type of outdoor recreational activity that is keeping in with the social distance requirements, but closed with respect to any of the amenities such as accessing the buildings or any of the organized activities?
That is correct, sir. That's 100% correct.
And that will remain through at least April 30th. But one thing I know that you've spoken about previously is although the amenities are closed, it's still important to get physical exercise, whether or not that's visiting one of our city parks or doing it somewhere around your home. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. It's important. One of the best ways to build up your immune system is through vitamin D, and the best source of vitamin D is the sun. So even if it's in your backyard, you do need to get out and you need to be physically active. This virus is an upper respiratory, so cardiovascular health is important. So all those things, not only that, it makes you feel mentally better. You know, being outside just makes you feel better as a person. You know, it gives you a sense of relaxation, and it improves your overall quality of health. So it's very important in a crisis like this.
Certainly a lot of benefits to getting some outdoor activity exercise while you can, when you can. On that note, Mac, if someone were to go for a walk at Woodland Park or Riverwalk Park or Fairview Park, what would you encourage that individual to do while they're there at the park?
Well, if you walk, first thing you want to do, if it's not a direct member of your family, that's something we don't cover a lot. If you're with a direct member of your family, you can walk with them. But the problem where it gets is where you don't want to get too close to anyone else. Social distancing, we're always hearing it's 6 feet, but when you're walking and training, it could be a little more. So just so proper respect, if you come up on someone, walk on the opposite side of the road. Don't walk up too close to them. Maintain a distance. Try not to touch things in the public that other people are touching. Simple things like a guardrail, anything that has a point of contact. The virus can live roughly about, I think it is 3 days on plastic and 2 days on steel. So everybody that comes by and touches that, you're basically there with them at that point. So you want to do your individual activity. Stand away from anything else, of anybody else. That way we can defeat this virus and we can get back to those normal activities that we all love.
Right. Social distancing is definitely one of those terms that has become part of our daily vocabulary. And what it sounds like you're saying, Mac, is you're encouraging folks to still utilize the park for their own individual purposes, but make sure if they do that they're exercising that social distancing and adhering to other CDC guidelines.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. And like I say, you want to make sure, we got 60-something acres here. There's no way you can find a place where no one else is at that, meets your needs here.
Right.
You don't have to walk the road. We have people that make their own trail. The trends in recreation that are coming forth now that we're starting to see is individual activities. So this virus caught us a little early in that, but that's feeds into what the trends are. A lot of people you'll see will come and walk and just walk the disc golf course. Just make their own trail. You don't. The roads are here and they're clean and they're, it's a good hard surface to walk on. But there's nothing wrong with doing a little cross country walking also.
Right.
Closer, we have a variety of wildlife you can view, and being on the edge of the park allows that. So there's a lot of things you can still do.
Speaking of wildlife and just the scenery at the park, if I understand from where you are, you're at Woodland Park outside the Rainy House, and we're hearing birds chirping. It's a somewhat cool day, but also a very pretty day outside. Tell us a little about where you're sitting right now, Mac.
I'm sitting right next to the old entrance, which is our back of our Rainy House now. As you can see, we got a beautiful red Japanese maple behind me. Fits into a roughly, this beautiful old house that we just recently remodeled. That is our, central office for our administrative staff. And the wildlife, when I came in this morning, there was deer out. We have commonly nothing, abnormal to see. Fox, red-tailed hawk, tons of squirrels, almost, So it's a really good environment. It's just open. And when you think we're so close to downtown, what city has a park like this that's so close to downtown where it's almost like you're totally immersed in nature? So it's really just a jewel park.
It is, in a lot of ways.
All of our parks.
It's like having our own Central Park right
Correct.
here in Columbia. Mac, we talked a little bit about some of the closures of our facilities. Let's talk briefly about cancellations. Of course, we mentioned the dog park grand opening, which was canceled and now has been closed, at least in the short term. We also briefly mentioned the Mid-State Softball Classic, which has become truly one of Columbia's signature events. We know that we've already got it rescheduled for 2021. That's March 30, 2021, where the Lady Vols and the Lady Memphis Tigers will come to Columbia to battle it out at Ridley Park. And so we're excited that we were able to go ahead and get that event rescheduled for 2021. But there have been other cancellations as well within your department. And so talk about how the department is handling that and how people can go about finding out more there.
Well, just a brief overview. Roughly, we have a sporting event at Ridley every weekend. We have individual activities where local leagues and play throughout our system. We have pavilions, roughly about 6 on it, 6 pavilion rentals every weekend, and we have our individual facility rentals. The way it works, if those rentals took place on our operation program, which we've just started over the last year, where you go online and do it, as soon as we call you and let you know that your event is canceled, we send out a refund. It takes roughly 2 days to get back to you, 2 to 3 days. But if it's something that you came in and did a paper sign up for, then we'll have to wait till our operation opens up, and then we'll issue a refund at that time, which, hopefully will be within 2 weeks. But we will give you a call, like on the Ridley, we try to give them at least 3 to 4 weeks notice. And we try to, on our individual facility rentals, because they're family reunions, we try to do that a week in advance. That way, if it was to open, we would be able to have it. So, but now we know it's going to be to the end of the month. So we're already started contacting everybody, letting them know that their money is coming back to them. And the operation program has really been a huge success in our department. It allows people no longer to have to come in and sign up for an event. They can do it on their phone, over the internet, at their computer. And it really has helped speed up, the refunds. Like all of our tickets that for the Mid-State Classic have been refunded. That was on the operation program. Now we still have about 300 hard tickets that people came in and purchased, and we'll refund those once, the facilities reopen and they can go to the Army and we can take care of that process. But the operation program has really helped in the refunds, and it's made things a lot better for the public.
Well, there's no question that that the City of Columbia website is very user-friendly, specifically for the Parks and Rec Department, where folks can go online, City of Columbia or ColumbiaTN.com, go to your Parks and Rec page, and they can find out more regarding events and cancellations and when some of these facilities are going to reopen. In addition to the website, Mac, if somebody has a question for you about the parks or how to sort of manage through during the stay-at-home order, is there a phone number that they can call?
Yes, it's our general number is 388-8119, and most likely over the next couple of weeks I'll be the one to answer it. So, give us a call, or if you can shoot us, if you got a question, you can, send us an email. If you go on the website, the emails directly come to me. Just click on the email, and we'll get a response back to them, within the same day.
Okay, so you can send them an email, visit the website online, or give them a call at 388-8119. Mack, really appreciate all that your department is doing. Y'all's department runs so well in good times and in bad times, and glad to hear that y'all are still continuing to operate and oversee a department even during a period of shutdown. And I know you're pulling for a comeback stronger than ever, as much as anybody I know, and hopefully we'll know a little bit more after April 30th so folks can continue to utilize facilities. But in the meantime, I know you agree that we should all sort of do our part to stay apart and try to get some of that vitamin D, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it's our responsibility to make sure that we get this under control. We don't have a vaccine. We don't really have a drug care. So the best form of taking care of this is making sure that we actually don't get the virus. And the best way to do that is through social distancing and maintaining.
Well, very well said, Mack Reagan. You're one of the best in the business for sure. We appreciate all that you're doing and all that your staff is doing for the city of Columbia. Everyone, thank you so much for joining in to our virtual town hall number 3 with Mack Reagan, the director of the Columbia Parks and Recreation Department. We hope you found this informative. As Mack said, you can give him a call at 388-8119 to learn more or visit our website. With that, we'll hope to see you next week for our virtual town hall number 4. And in the meantime, do your part by staying apart. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.